You're watching the Red Line Radio Network.
Say you're plain, don't dress it up. If the story bends, we call it out. For what it's worth, for what it's worth, we ask the room, what is it worth? For what it's worth, for what it's worth, no cheap applause, just the truth.
Guten Nacht. Red Line Radio Network, all things political. I am not a journalist. I am not an analyst. I just listen to the issues. If you play some videos, let you form your own opinion. But thanks to the For What It's Worth quartet there. Again, welcome. Some shit that's going on today. Obviously, Trump had his daily presser. President Trump, he's warned Oman not to get in the way of everything that's going on with the Strait of Hormuz, which I think is funny. He said he would bomb the shit out of Oman. What the fuck's Oman going to do? Basically said, well, they're not playing nice. What's Oman going to do? What's Oman going to do to you? Nothing. The Iran agreement has expired. It's just a mess. It's just a complete mess. So we'll see what happens. Again, President Stupid, President Heat Miser, will continue to say that I don't give a shit about gas prices, grocery prices, as long as Iran doesn't get a nuclear weapon. And again, he's going to beat that dead horse. Then again, a little over a year ago, you and Pete Hogsworth, or Hog Slop, or Hog Shit, came out and said that their nuclear capability was destroyed, obliterated. And then 8 months later, you say, well, they were 2 weeks away from having a nuclear weapon. He talks out of both sides of his ass. Period. Jared Kushner met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today for 4 hours. Kushner said Hamas could disarm soon, but indicated the U.S. would support further Israeli military action in Gaza if not. So this is turning more and more into a forever war right now. It's like President Stupid said, well, we were in World War II for 4 years. We were in Vietnam for 19 years. Let's see. I've got some stuff to play here. And again, I will let you form your own opinions. Just listen to what Mike Johnson has to say, and then you tell me what you're
fighting for. Now, we put in this Congress, we put into place all the economic conditions to let the economy take off like a rocket. And beginning in the first quarter of this year, that's what was happening. And then we got into the conflict with Iran. Now, that's going to be settling out soon. That will help gas prices and grocery prices stay down to planet Earth because the transport cost and all that related to fuel and the price of oil and gas. That's the big headwind we have right now. But we have done what we said. We fulfilled our promises.
I've heard that shit for 6 months. Price of gas is going to come down. Price of groceries are going to come down. This, that, the other thing. They were coming down before the war. We started the war, and it's gonna end soon. That's like the 500th time that I've heard that shit. Everything's gonna be settled. It's gonna be settled soon. We're close to an agreement for the 600th time. Whatever. This next one is the heat miser talking about the ballroom. Again, listen to the rhetoric, form your own
You
opinion.
might want to take a look at the complexity. These are all different rooms down here. They're building a hospital. They're building, it's a military hospital. They're building all sorts of research facilities, also meeting rooms and rooms that go hand in hand for the military using the ballroom. And the ballroom is really a shield and protecting all of the things that are built here. This goes, as you see, it's already up to the ground. This goes down very deep. You get a better view right over here. This is down because we've already done these floors. But these are already down 2 floors. It's down about 6 stories deep. That's big stuff. Normally, when you build a ballroom, you build it flat. You just build a ballroom. It would have been built. The complexity of this, and again, it's all knit. It's all knit together between the drone proofing, the missile proofing, we have, and the drone capacity upstairs. We can have all sorts of military up, whether, I hate to use the word snipers, but we have great sniper capacity. It's built for our snipers, not the enemy snipers, our snipers. And because of the height, we get a very clear view of everything all over Washington. Yeah.
Mr. President, you mentioned that
What the fuck are you talking about? We don't have money for Medicare. We don't have the capability to handle drones if they come in, by the way. Gas prices are up. Groceries, healthcare blows. But build your fucking $1 billion, whatever it's going to be. It's basically Hitler's bunker. Hitler did the same thing. Did the same thing. Deep underground bunker. It's no different. People wake up. This next one. This is JD Vance talking about Iran now. What the objective is now, as opposed to what it was in the beginning. This is his diatribe. I believe this is
President JD Vance now saying ending Iran's nuclear program is no longer the #1 goal of this war. Here's what he said yesterday.
I know that oil is down today, and it's way down from the highs in the early days of the conflict. That's goal #1. Keep oil and gas cheap for Americans all over our country. And then obviously goal #2 is ensure that Iran never gets a nuclear.
So let me get this straight. Initially, it was not to have Iran have a nuclear weapon. Now that's no longer the objective. Now it's to try and keep gas prices as low as they can get, or oil as low as it can get. Just keep backtracking. Just keep back walking. It's like Homer Simpson, like disappearing into the field of dreams. The bullshit, the spin doctoring, it's old. It's old. Speaking of Iran and speaking of all the shit that's going on, anti-Semitism, Muslim hate, XYZ, you always have, a few bad apples spoil the whole bunch. And again, is every Israeli horrible? No. You got the radical Zionists You have the radical Islamists that fuck it up for everyone. This is Yom Tov Glasser. He's a Zionist rabbi. Just adding fuel to the fire. So
because the most powerful nations in the world have to go down to their knees. That's what happened to Egypt. That's what's going to happen to America. It's what's going to happen to Germany. It's what's going to happen to France. It's what's going to happen to London. England's going to happen to Poland. It's what's going to happen to Russia. It's what's going to happen to China. It's what's going to happen to North Korea and South Korea. That's what's going to happen in Japan. That's what's going to happen in Shanghai, in Taiwan. They're all going to go down to their knees and all see Hashem. But as long as they keep helping us, they'll get a bracha. And they're not going to go down their knees. They're going to get a little more time. You guys want more time? I don't want more time. So you understand, when I hear they're friends with us, they're just perpetuating more of this status quo. They're all going to go down. They're all going to go down to their knees, and especially the Western ones. The Zohar says that they're going to go down hard for how they treated us over the last 2,000 years. For the destruction of the Second Temple and how they treated us, Hashem's going to take them down hard.
It's that kind of rhetoric that doesn't help. Period. You're entitled to what you believe. Freedom of speech, XYZ, I get it. But that's the kind of shit that's not helping. And again, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Conflict in the Middle East has been going on since the time of Moses. Why anybody thinks it's ever going to change, whatever president thinks he's going to change it, XYZ. 1979, Jimmy Carter had Menachem Begin and Anwar Sadat sign the peace treaty between the two. And not long after that, one of Anwar Sadat's generals murdered him, assassinated him, because they don't want peace. The radical Muslims like Iran, they don't want peace. Certain faction of Israel, they don't want peace with them. Maybe some do. There is a faction that wants peace, but the majority of both sides, they don't want peace. Period. What else did I see? There was a whole lot of other stuff that I saw today at his press conference or his presser, whatever it was, with his cabinet, that I did not get around to put on here. Here's Mike Nellis. He is a former senior advisor, was a former senior advisor to Kamala Harris. He is talking about the ballroom that Trump is.
I don't think this
building.
really has anything to do with security. I think this is about Donald Trump being the vainest president that we have ever had. He is spending all of his time fixating on stuff like this, the ballroom, putting his name on the Kennedy Center again. It's just totally ridiculous. And remember, he promised that this ballroom was going to be fully paid by private donations. Now they've been diverting resources from other agencies. He's trying to do it without congressional approval, which I believe to be illegal. I think the Supreme Court will likely stop him here. But regardless, the real challenge here is Donald Trump's approval numbers are cratering. People are really angry about the economy. The job market is bad. Affordability is a crisis in this country. He's not doing anything on that right now. Todd Starnes was on the show a few moments ago, and I've talked to Todd a bunch of different times. He's calling this the golden age of America. So is Donald Trump. But it's a golden age for who? Trump is increasing his net worth by billions of dollars. The average American is watching their net worth go down because they're spending so much on gas prices. They're spending so much on trying to pay their rent and mortgage, pay their grocery bill. People are angry right now.
We can't just leave a hole there. That's a fact. So we're going to have to do something
who created
with
the hole
it.
then, and who's going to pay for filling it?
Mike, come on. I mean, first of all,
Donald Trump created the hole himself.
You're actually proving the point that Donald Trump is a master at politics.
Never ends, ladies and gentlemen. It never ends. We all heard about the USS Lincoln. Parents have called into shows of soldiers, wives of soldiers. You hear conflicting reports saying that the conditions on that particular ship, that battleship, are horrible. And of course, you've got Pete Hogwash and the Heat Miser saying that that's false. Everything's false news to them anyway. So there's nothing new there. But here's White House Deputy Press Secretary Anna Kelly addressing this particular issue.
Just before we go, Anna, I wanted to ask you about one other issue that the president was asked about on the tarmac at JBA, and that's reports of low morale, increased suicidal ideation aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln. CENTCOM pushing back on this, saying it's just not true, that those reports are erroneous. But is the president concerned about the length of these deployments? You know, typically these ships are out for 6 months or so. The Lincoln's been out for 9 months. Apparently, it's going to transition out of the area and be replaced by another ship. But is the president concerned that these sailors in these ships are staying at sea far longer than they normally do?
Well, John, I think this president cares about our United States military service members, our troops, more than everybody. Remember Joe Biden, who unfortunately shifted the focus on our away from our warfighters and onto these woke DEI policies that had nothing to do with readiness and lethality. This president has focused our Department of War in a tremendous way on readiness, lethality, and giving all of our warfighters the support they need to be successful. So the Department of War has done that in an unprecedented way, and they will continue to do that to support the most lethal, ready, incredible, talented fighting force the world has ever seen.
All right, we look forward to the president. Top of the next hour, Anna Kelly with the update and the preview. Thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you both.
All right.
You notice how she transferred over to Biden. You weren't fucking asked about Biden. You were asked about what was going on the USS Abraham Lincoln under this particular regime, under this administration. The Biden administration has been over for a year and a half. So to combat that, here's the wife of one of the servicemen on the USS Abraham Lincoln. She had called in.
What is your husband saying about conditions on the ship?
My husband is appalled at the conditions on this ship. This is not his first deployment. This is not his first time being out there, and he is saying that it is the worst deployment that he's ever been on. And he also says that his shipmates say the same. The food is appalling, but the food's been appalling the whole time. I think that the food on these ships are always pretty bad, but it's not just the quality, it's the quantity, it's the rationing, the portions are awful. So it's really not good.
See what you want to believe, form your own opinion, form your own assessment. Thanks for the thumb up, whoever did that. Some other things that stood out to me over the last week. You know, we're talking about the USS Abraham Lincoln. This is the Heat Miser, I believe. He is talking about giving medals to the 3% of the people who come over on drug boats, that they're some of the bravest people in the world. I want to see if this is it. Let me see.
We will become energy independent shortly.
No, that's not it.
They don't sail anymore. They don't sail. And the 97%, in fact, we're going to give probably medals to some of the 3% because I think they happen to be the bravest people. Anybody getting into one of those boats to bring drugs into our country, I consider them to be among the bravest people anywhere in the world.
Wow. Oh, and then President Stupid, he's talking about renaming the
We
Strait
will
of Hormuz.
become energy independent shortly.
Here it
We're
is.
bringing the prices way down. Look at what's happening, coming way down. And after we finish defeating Iran, which is being very badly defeated, pretty soon I'll be declaring the Hormuz Strait a territory of the United States. Essentially, that's what it is. We have the blockade.
Good stuff, man. It writes itself. It writes itself. Just to take you back a ways. Here's Trump talking about the promises that he's made and what's
We will
actually
become
taken.
energy independent shortly after, but start also on day one, drill, baby, drill. We're going to bring your electric prices way down. We're going to bring your energy prices way down. Gasoline will be back to $2 and maybe even less than that. So I just say this. So for you to pay a tiny little bit more for your gasoline, just remember, you're doing it so that a very evil country cannot have a country. Really, it's the #1 state sponsor of terror in the world. We don't want to have them have a nuclear weapon. So remember that when you have to pay a little bit more, you're at $4. It's okay. I mean, it's I'll never apologize. I did the right thing. But you could, you know, if you didn't have.
Just remember that next time you're at the pump and you're paying $4.50, $5 a gallon. Thank God those son of a bitches over there don't have a nuclear weapon. That we supposedly obliterated their capability. But they were close to having a nuclear weapon 8 months later. Just remember that when you're at the pump. When you're paying $6 for eggs or $4 for a gallon of milk. Just remember all that. And for the last 6 months, I don't mind paying this stuff because Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon. Just remember that shit. As if it's not getting worse for Democrats and Republicans. Here's Republican Mike Lawler and Democrat, obviously, minority leader Hakeem Jeffries. They're going at it because Hakeem Jeffries thinks that Mike Lawler tried to sneak one on him on the ACA tax credit. I'm not sure you're going to be able to make out what they're saying. Hopefully,
You're
you
not
will
going
be.
to talk. You're not going to talk to me.
Wasted
You're not
on
going to talk to me
fraud
and talk
and
over
non-New
me
York residents
because you don't
getting
want to
paid.
hear what I have to say.
Oh, I'm listening.
So why
Go
don't you
ahead.
just keep your mouth shut?
Oh,
because you
is
showed
that-
up.
is that the way to
you
talk?
showed up. You showed up.
Yeah.
And so you voted for this one
I
big
signed
ugly
on
bill.
for this. You can extend it right
A
now.
permanent extension of massive tax breaks for your billionaire donors.
So 90% of
So
Americans.
they can get a permanent extension.
90% of
but
Americans
working
take the
class
standard
Americans
deduction.
can't?
Ooh. Like Rock'em Sock'em robots. That's what I want to see. What they should do is they, because there's a Rock'em Sock'em robot that's blue. There's a Rock'em Sock'em robot that's red. And just take both sides. Let each have a Rock'em Sock'em robot. And then they punch it out with the Rock'em Sock'em robots. And then whatever head pops up first, there's one vote. Last thing I'm going to play. Thanks for the thumbs up, by the way. It's greatly appreciated. Again, questions, comments, criticisms, all welcome. I don't take offense to anything unless you're going to get real personal. If you don't think the heat miser is creepy enough, if you don't think he's creepy enough, just listen.
And every day I come to the White House, people are thanking me. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. No, these young, beautiful girls, These young, beautiful girls in the White House, you know, they come in. Now, I'm not supposed to say beautiful, but what the hell? These young, these gorgeous, beautiful girls, they want to be safe, and they come, Mr. President, may I speak to you? Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I said, why are you thanking me? Because a year and a half ago, I was afraid to leave. I was afraid to open the door of my apartment. And now I walk to the White House every morning, and I have absolutely no fear. Thank you, sir. Now I get it all the time. Men, women, older men, younger men, and older women and younger women, they're all saying thank you, and I know exactly what they mean. We lived in a hellhole. 2 years ago, we were in a hellhole, and now we have one of the safest cities, and it should be safe. It's our nation's capital. We represent the whole universe, frankly, because there's nothing like the United States. Look at what we've done.
Yes, the universe that he lives in within his mind. It's not our universe. I don't know what universe he's talking about or what universe planet he's living on, but it's not here. It's somewhere way off. Way off. I mean, I'm talking way off, like out by Pluto, because it's not here. I'm going to end it there. Again, questions, comments, criticisms, always welcome. Thanks to everybody that tunes in. Thanks for the thumbs up. Anybody who tunes in later, again, questions, comments, you can reach me at ryanneff68@gmail.com. On the X, it's at Mr. Ginch, or at M Ginch. Let me take a look at it again. I don't even remember what my X handle is anymore. Yes, at capital M, capital G, lowercase INCH. At M Ginch. You can reach me on the Instagram. Again, the Tweeter machine. I'm actually gonna, let me go here. Let me do this. Let me go over here. Because if I don't do it, I should do this at the beginning. To be quite honest with you, I don't know why I don't. Now I can't find it, so I might have to revert back to. Let me just go through stuff here. Let me go all the way back, Nope. I don't know if I deleted it or not. Oh, wait a minute. No. So we're going to do this. I thought I saw something come across here that I wanted to mention. But no, it looks like it's obviously fake news. People are always throwing shit up on the let me just do this. Take my ugly ass off here. What the hell did I do with it? Devices are now they're acting up. Stuff is freezing. I'm in an area where that happens every once in a while. The connectivity here in Pennsylvania sometimes blows. It really blows. But I'm going to end it there. Tomorrow, excuse me, here on the Redline Radio Network, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be doing Early Evening Sports Buffet with the Ginch, going around the world in sports to do the headlines. Major League Baseball making the playoff push. We're getting down to the nitty gritty for college football and NFL camps. Then at 8 p.m., another edition of Student Body Right. Go down more of the AP Top 25, break it down. What I think, we'll get into it a little bit more. In August 27th, over there at the Leaf and Bean Cigar Lounge, the LB Cigar Lounge, over there in Florence, New Jersey, on August 27th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be doing my college football preview special, trying to line up as many guests as I can. We'll break it down, and then at the end, I'm not going to seed the teams. I am just going to pick the 12 teams that I think will make the college football playoff, and then I will pick a national champion who I think will play in the national championship game. So, with all that being said, I will see everybody tomorrow night right here on Redline Radio Network. Have a good night, everybody.
Redline Network introduces our newest partnership, Outlaw Light. Outlaw is crafted for all of the beer drinking patrons of America. They aren't preaching or teaching, their mission plain and simple, to provide a high quality beer at an affordable price. Outlaw is crisp, crushable, refreshing. Available by the case, tall boys, 16-ounce 6-packs or singles. Go to outlawbeer.com to find the nearest can or tavern near you. The Redline Network proudly raises their cans to you. Stay bold, Outlaw.